Let's take a look back and maybe a more of a global view of how you have seen philanthropy change and the role of philanthropy in Detroit and in Southeast Michigan over the amount of time that you've been with the Community Foundation.
Philanthropy's changed just like every other sector. That's true. When I came, Detroit was very much a pay-as-you-go place. Mm-hmm. Very large, generous givers, but pay it out and it went away. There were no endowments. And so when I came to build a community endowment, I had no idea there wasn't that tradition. It was elsewhere in the country of putting money aside in a permanent way. And since that time, yes, we've had success, but we also have some more private foundations that are helping build that permanent capital, because the charitable sector needs permanent capital, just like the for-profit sector. I see more organizations now building endowment. We have 230 some building their endowments with the Community Foundation, because you have to help people understand that they can do good while they're alive, but also in their estate plans. I also think that you see a switch in some extent the corporate giving patterns.
What about how foundations work with each other? Some of the larger foundations and coming together and saying, how can we align some of our goals to be even more powerful?
We've learned how to work together better. It's not totally a new thing. When I first came, the Community Foundation had no money, so we had to work together, and I think we've been successful in that over the years. But things like the grand bargain brings you together in a way where you have to cooperate. And now we share some goals together around major activities. I think we're going to see more of that happening because the issues are large, they're complex, they don't change overnight. And even though philanthropy's money pales in terms of size in relation to the public sector, sometimes we can help make some things happen. I see that recently now there's a conversation about how do you really help finish some of the things that have been started by philanthropy? Whether it's the Riverfront Conservancy and Joe Louis Greenway, how do they work together? How do we work with the public sector to try to make some private and public sector activity coming together?
You mentioned some of the projects working on the Greenway and the Riverfront Conservancy, and you also mentioned the Grand Bargain, which you were instrumental in helping have the conversations and work through and helping the city of Detroit emerging from bankruptcy. Take me back to that time and what some of those conversations were like for you, and when you look back at the career that you have had and the things that you have been able to achieve with the foundation and help others do, would that stand out as one of the major things?
Oh, sure. It will be one, but not the only. When I think about the fact the Community Foundation has had almost 30 years of helping build greenways, that we have had the New Economy Initiative, now $190 million of helping small businesses, all with the cooperation and collaboration and money from other philanthropy, as well as the public sector as well. What I'm going to remember are the people, and that's what I will miss, because it's leaders and people that make things happen. Without people willing to compromise, we don't get these things done. And that was truly the grand bargain. From the pensioners collaborating and cooperating to the DIA, to the Ford Foundation. It was an amazing coming together, but we all knew that we could make a difference. So it's really about people saying to themselves, can I make a difference? And then when they can, stepping up and doing it.
Talk to me a little bit about leadership, being a powerful woman in the front of the room, being a decision maker, and being able to influence other young female leaders in Southeast Michigan.
Well, if I'm powerful, I like to be the powerful woman in the back of the room, because I think you can actually make a lot of things happen by not being the most visible. And so maybe that's what I've been trying to do over the years. Look, for me, it's sort of a practical, no-brainer kind of thing. What we need in Southeast Michigan and in Michigan is talent. We need to nurture talent, we need to retain talent, and I'll be darned if there aren't a lot of women and girls that, given the opportunity, will provide a lot of that talent going forward. So I think it's smart for all of us to find some of that talent and work with it, mentor it, support it, and there's a lot more work to do there. And we have issues of all kinds of diversity. And we need to find that talent and recognize it and move it forward. I look forward to continuing to help individuals that want to give back, want to be a part of leading going forward, that have ideas.
I want to ask you before I let you go a little bit about how the foundations are rallying together to talk about some of the spending, some of the stimulus money that we're getting from Washington coming out of COVID. What are some of the priorities here?
Well, there's a lot of work to do there, and not all of it needs to be done in the next 6 months because it's a couple years. I don't think the foundation community has totally coalesced around that. It's being done on a localized level, and that's healthy. The Council of Michigan Foundations is very hard at work at helping us, particularly with the monies flowing through the state. But I would encourage any municipality that would like some help to reach out to their local foundations because I think there's a willingness and a readiness. What we can help with is technical assistance, some data, all kinds of things to ready them to better compete and make their case.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.